You are watching Camera64 Videos, your home for great tips and tricks. I am your host, Alfonso Chavez. And today we are coming to you from Brackenbridge Park here in the heart of San Antonio. Today we are here and today's video is going to be about using flash. One of the things that I like to tell new photographers is that even though I know most of you would like to get that bright new piece of glass, that 2.8 or maybe even that 1.8, which is actually what we're going to be using today. We got my trusty Canon 50 1.8 mil lens, and the reason I decided to go ahead and use that is because I know that a lot of people out there want to get this glass because it is a nice piece of glass. We call it the Plastic Fantastic. It does a great job and it's very inexpensive. And once again, we have our Canon T2i, which is also one of my oldies but goodies. It's one of my favorite cameras to use. And as you can tell, it's very worn out. It's missing all kinds of rubber and all that good stuff, but it still keeps on shooting. So what I mention a lot, even in my video cast and my podcast, as well as the blog, if you've ever visited our blog, is I talk a lot about flash. And the reason I like to incorporate flash in a lot of my shots is because it is the least expensive way to greatly improve upon your photography. By adding flash, you totally change the dimension of your picture. By adding a flash, you get directional light in the direction of where you need it to be. And you might wonder, why is that important? Well, if you're taking pictures outside, or well, any situation for that matter, having light coming from a source that's even to the light or just above where your subject's going to be, you're going to get flash in their eyes, and that's going to make the brightness in their eyes, they're just going to look bright and alive. And so that's a look that will really set you apart, because if you're taking pictures without a flash, or even using a small on-camera flash, especially in a harsh condition like this where we have sunlight all over the place, we get raccoon eyes, where we get the dark sockets of our eyes, and we don't want that. It's okay for snapshots, but if you're trying to get serious about your photography, you want to eliminate that altogether whenever possible. So that's why flash coming in a certain direction and not overhead like the sun does, having the flash fire into somebody's eyes will eliminate that shadow, and that's what we want. So with that introduction, we're going to go ahead and get started. We're going to shoot some pictures out here at Brackenbridge Park, and I have both my sons with me today, so we're going to take shots of both of them. We're going to do some shots that don't have flash, and then we're going to take some shots that do have flash. And also, we're going to try and make some intelligent decisions about where we want to set them up, whether it be in full sun or in full shade, and also taking into consideration our background too. And we'll get a little bit into that as we go along here. So till then, we're going to get going. We're going to take some shots here at Brackenbridge Park, and we'll get back to you soon, okay? Back at Casa de Camera64. I took the liberty of opening our Lightroom and downloading the pictures that we took at Brackenbridge Park, and we're going to start off with the pictures that we took without using a flash, and the different kind of situations that we can create or not create with using a flash or not using a flash. This very first image up here, this is something that you should take into consideration. Your background in this picture, as you can see, is dark or darker. Even though we're out in full sun, this area right here is fully shaded by the trees above, so it makes for a darker scene behind. And so this allows me to expose for my son
at the same time Anthony here. We can expose for Anthony, and you can see that we get a pretty decent exposure with him being in a dark shade and the background also being in a dark shade. Okay. So now our next picture, we did the total opposite. We've got my son in shade, and now our background consists of a lot of light, and you can see that light coming in all different areas right here, the sky, the bridge, the grass. But the one thing you do notice is that it's all overexposed, and right here I'm actually trying to get a good balance between my son here and this background, and you're not able to do a very good job of it. As you can tell, the background you still can't really make out with much certainty or much detail what's back there. And you can also look down here, and it's so overexposed that you can't tell that the grass is actually green in this picture, which it is. And still my son is really underexposed still. So if I were to expose for him to try and get some of this background in, then he's going to be exposed correctly, while the background will get still worse yet. So here's the next picture, and here's what I'm talking about. Now I think I did a +1.5 on this one, and this one we're shooting at f2, which is almost wide open, but not quite. But here I exposed for him, so now he looks kind of, he's overexposed, but we could pull this back if we wanted to. But the background, as you can tell, is just totally washed out. There's just so much detail just gone, and there's so much brightness that you can't make out what's back there anymore. You can't hardly tell that this is a bridge and that there's a park bench right here. And this is all due to exposure, overexposure. For trying to get the exposure on my son correct, we lose the entire background. Okay. And then we just continued on with that same idea. Same thing here. Our background is still overexposed. It needs to be underexposed a little bit more, in my opinion. But if we do that, then my son would be in total darkness. We would completely lose him in the scene. And then here, now here's what I'm talking about. I went ahead and made a correction for my background. Now my background is kind of decent. See how nice this is right here, and you can actually see the stone wall as well as the ducks here, but my son is totally lost here. And this is actually with a really nice, actually I take that back, it's with a really low flash right there. Same thing here in this scene. Nice background here. I purposely made the background correct here. This is an f6.3 at ISO 100 and 1/80th of a second. So we got a really nice background, but once again, see, there's no sparkle in his eye. It's just kind of a dead shot. I mean, in my opinion, remember, this is everybody's got their own opinion. So now let's look at some of these shots with a flash added in. So here's a shot with a slight correction for the background, and in this background you can see that we're still actually overexposed. So actually I would need to bring the exposure on this background down a little bit, but now we've got some flash here, and we've also got a nice little twinkle in his eye, and a shadow that I really prefer the shadow be a little further down, but that's fine, that'll work for what we're doing here. Let me just develop that real quick. We can bring that exposure down, see how, and make the exposure on him a little bit better, and that looks a lot better right there. And also the background, it brings the background back into the shot, and as I was talking about, we can see what's back there with pretty good detail. We know this is a bridge now, we know that there's a bench. And also I just want to keep in mind that even though we're shooting at 5.6, which is what a kit lens would give you, we still got a nice background. See how nice that is? Very nice. See how nice and sharp my son is, but the background is just blown out. So you don't really absolutely have to have that 1.4 or that 1.8 lens like this happens to be. I just happen to be shooting it at 5.6, and so we got a good picture. Our next one up. Okay, and here we are, same shot. The background in this one is also overexposed slightly. It could use some correcting. And also my son is also overexposed, but now this time we can actually see him in the picture here. See, and then we got the nice sparkle in his eye. No raccoon eyes here. So we'll go ahead and we'll bring that down a little bit too. And as you can tell, I'm not doing much to it other than bringing my exposure down slightly. We bring this down half a stop. It appears to be where it needs to be at. And same thing here. We got a nice sharp image on him with the flash. Got the sparkle in his eye, but look at our nice background. Look at how nice that is. Nice and pleasing. Same thing here. Look at that. Beautiful. Oh, actually, look at that. See, that shot's a little out of focus there. That wouldn't work. We'll skip on that one. Here we are right here. Same thing. Sparkle. Nice bokeh in the background. He is super sharp at 5'6". Oh, I'm taking it back. He's at 6'3". Even at f6.3, our background still gives us some nice bokeh. Look at that. See, it's beautiful. And you got the nice flash on him right here. Shadows going off to his left, and then this is an easy correction here. If we take our adjustment brush and bring our exposure down here a little bit, we can darken this tree a little bit here. Get rid of some of that flash on our tree, and voila, that's about all I would do to that. And that's almost ready to deliver. I think a customer would be really happy with that. So that's what we're talking about as far as using flash. Using flash can greatly change the way your pictures look, and you also don't have to be necessarily shoot wide open all the time. You can get away with shooting at 6'3" or 6'5" or 5'6", which actually 5'6" and 6'3" is usually where I like to shoot most of the time. See, this is a shot at 5'6", 1/60th of a second. It's got a flash on him. And let's see. Yeah, this is not a good shot here. And this one is pretty good. How we check the sharpness. See, that's nice and sharp. And then we still got plenty of room. See, by using our histogram, this is our bright side and this is our dark side. And see how we got more to the dark side, and we still got room to push this over a little bit. And so we'll go ahead and push this picture over a little bit to the right, and then we can just add a little bit of contrast, and we've got a very nice picture right there. There we go. That's a nice shot. And as you can tell by the sky, it could actually afford to have been underexposed a little bit more in this picture, and a little bit more flash applied here, and it would have definitely given us a nice blue sky right there. So we're gonna go ahead and wrap that up. These are the pictures that I was wanting to show you how big of a difference adding flash to your pictures can be, and make your photography look a lot better. So till next time, this is Camera64, and I'm gonna go ahead and throw it right back to me on the other end. Till next time, you take care. We'll see you in a little bit.
So we're back to our starting point where we all started today, and as you can tell by the shots that we did today, the shots came out very good, and using flash did greatly improve upon our pictures. Just to let everybody know, my two sons that helped me model today was Anthony Chavez and my son Alon, and we want to thank you for visiting us here on the website today. And once again, as always, you can find us on our website. The website is www.camera64.com, and you can also drop us a line email, which can also be found on our contact page. And that email is alfonso@camera64.com. And please, if you have any suggestions for the show or the podcast, you can get a hold of us there. Send us an email, drop us a line. So till next time, we want to thank you once again for being with us. And again, guys, we want to go ahead and give everybody a warm send-off here. Till next time, y'all take care. Bye-bye. Okay. So you can go ahead and take the camera off that. No, actually leave it on there now that I think about it. Now that I think about it, leave that on there for right now because we're going to shoot some video of these ducks. When you hold this,